Blog Talk Radio.
Good evening, everyone. This is me, Jonathan Alexander, and I'm here to host our show, Life, Laughter, Happiness. Today, I have my co-host, Barbara here. Are you there, Barbara?
Yes, I'm here. Hi, everybody.
Hey. And for our guest today, Vanessa Orr. And it's really great that you're here, Doctor.
Hi, Vanessa.
Barbara, hello.
You got your clipboard out, of course.
I do, literally. I do.
Yeah.
Well, it couldn't have come at a better time, Vanessa, when the globe, the whole world needs to know a little bit more, just give us more. And so, Johnny and I thought nobody does it better than you.
Oh, that is awesome. Yeah, there's a lot more going on with the coronavirus. And I was shown before the show that there's a woman that will call into your show, and she's got a relationship issue. And so I'm prepared for that. They brought a reading to me for that. So,
okay.
Yes.
Before we go on, we talked earlier, Vanessa, and I want to say something about this coronavirus because obviously that's the elephant in the room. But, it feels like this virus has been pounding down on everybody, but we're not hearing any good news. And why don't you share with Barbara the good news that I sent to you today? Remember the good news, the link I sent you?
Yes, I do, and I read the article.
What do you think about it?
Well, it's a go. It's the it's a hydroxychloroquine. Oh, Steve, listen to me. Hydroxychloroquine. I think that's right. It's HYDROXY, chloroquine. And what it is, it's an anti-parasite, and it is also a suppressive prescription for immune disorders. So people with lupus, people with rheumatoid arthritis, even this, I was reading further about this rare disease called porphyria. It's really bad at Hooks on Phonics today. But it's a chemical buildup in the blood, and hydroxychloroquine also helps with that. So we talked about this a couple weeks ago, I think, on the show, and I know I talked about it on my show. And the FDA has authorized emergency use. A couple weeks ago, I was talking about a French scientist. His name is Didier Raoult, and I'm not saying it correctly, but his last name is Raoult. He started trial studies and observations with 100% success rate in 40 patients that had coronavirus. So they all came out 100% well. He has just finished another study as of this past weekend where he had a equal success rate of 100% with this hydroxychloroquine. So,
great.
And the FDA, as I said, gave emergency approval to physicians to prescribe this. And apparently it's this plus azithromycin, or also known as the Z-Pak. That is a combination.
Oh.
Yes. The combination of the two really helps. So I did see a couple states talking about stay at home or lockdown. I think lockdown is the correct word. And Florida now went to mid-June or end of May, something in that area where it's lockdown in Florida, definitely South Florida, for coronavirus.
Now, have they said that? Because I don't recall that ever being heard or said. Are you saying that could happen?
That was in the news. Now, I said that the virus, that we wouldn't be able to do anything past May and part of June. That's what I said on the show. And your show here at Life, Laughter, and Happiness.
Right.
And then on my show. And
yes,
so,
you did, and you said a lot of other things, like you said there was going to be a lot of crime. There was going to be a wave of crime, and there has been.
Here it is. There has been.
There has been.
it has been global, too. I read the London Times every morning, and it's really high tier in the commercial or areas, of course. The restaurants, the hair salons they call them, you're going to love this. Here we call them nail salons or nail techs, and they call them nail painters over in London.
Oh, that's cute.
Yeah, I know.
Wow.
I thought that was cute. So anyway, they have been ransacked by thugs and groups. And I will tell you, my husband Rich and I live out in the country. We have horses and we have dogs, and so some time ago, and as an investment. And here we are out in the country. And I would say it's probably about 2.5 miles from here have been constant grand theft auto, burglary of commercial properties, and they've been pretty bold to break into people's homes. So that's not really a smart thing to do anywhere, much less Houston, Texas. So there's been a lot of helicopters overhead. Another thing, just out of curiosity, this is purely an observation, we have seen such a drastic drop in air travel, of course, but we don't have any commercial liners over our house. What's it look like in California and in Georgia? Very quiet.
I've not noticed any airplanes, and I have, right after the alert, I heard a couple helicopters, but now I hear absolutely no helicopters.
Must be a lot of people must be rather heeding, staying in out of fear and a little bit of wisdom, and that is helping. But yeah, we've seen, even all the way out here in Northwest Houston, we've seen a drastic shift in activity. So that is good. Yeah. So all we can do is just protect ourselves like that, but beware of this other thing that some people are not thinking about, which is the crime around them. Where they normally were safe, maybe they're not so much, because the police presence, they come for emergencies that are happening at the time. Like if it's, they're not coming out to do reports because they might get the virus. So anything that is not essential or an urgent matter, they have to. Otherwise, that wouldn't be good for anybody. So, but the criminals know that, and that now all the courts are closed down. So whoever was awaiting a trial or a conviction or anything, that's they feel free. They feel like they got out of it. Before all this became quite rampant in the hot spots in New York City, they did allow people to leave without any conviction on well, I'm sure it's on their record, but they were allowed to be booked and then exit police stations. So now I don't think there's any order in place. I might say that on Instagram, I follow jewelry websites and beautiful, wedding dress websites. I have a penchant for looking at those things. And I have a small engagement with a very talented jewelry maker who has a high-rise apartment in Manhattan, not far from Central Park. And once in a while, for example, on Friday night, they had a 7 p.m. clap session in New York City for all the healthcare workers. I don't know if you were aware of that, but he posted that in between he makes the most beautiful original pieces. I mean, they're just phenomenal. Wow. And he also takes video of Central Park. Well, as you might know, Central Park is now called Triage Tent City. They have triage tent centers up all over Central Park now. Wow, no, I didn't know that. Yeah. Now, he didn't post that, and I've been meaning to ask him. But, yes, that is something that is going on. And while he waits in his apartment, he's making gorgeous jewelry and posting how he's making it. I mean, he makes it all from raw material. It's, straight from the mold that he hand creates. I mean, they are stunning pieces. So, wow, beautiful. So at least he's still, there are some people in the world that are even doing better. They want to have their peace. They want to have solitude. They don't, this is like a break to them. Some people have been wrenching on cars or motorcycles for 30 years, and they finally get some time to breathe. So for some people, and it's not hurting
like the essential businesses are booming. It's not hurting them, except for maybe they might, get the virus. But for the most part, but what about, this is what I was going to ask you, the creative people, like me, like the models, the singers, the dancers out there, it's all turning into, virtual. I think that there is a lot of opportunity here for the artists.
Oh my gosh, you just gave me chills. What that is for me is prana confirmation and kundalini confirmation in the results and scope of your words. You are absolutely correct. It's it's a reset. It's a reset, and it is creative time. I mean, even in the scope of out of everything bad that happens, something good comes of it. And we don't want to be looking for things that go wrong, but gosh, when they do go wrong, I'm telling you, I have seen it many, many times in my life, that when something bad goes off, then something beautiful and new can come from it. And that's exactly what's happening. I love this virtual thing you're talking about. I watched on Instagram, there's this beautiful ballerina out of Amsterdam. And I go and watch her videos because she says, I can't practice either. She misses her troupe there in Amsterdam. And I think she's on day 15 where they're all isolated. So she posts workout videos. And of course, she's just stunning. She's a very graceful, beautiful young woman. And so she posts, and she posts these amazing videos of working out. And even I can do that. Yeah, I thought that was so creative. During this time,
I thought of this too. And Johnny and I are on this new social app, and it's been fun. And I thought, somebody even suggested I do that, and I find myself in my house for every day of my life. I practice alone in my house anyway, and so I'm just going to start putting it up there.
Please
thank
do.
you. I will.
Because you're beautiful, you're smart, you're creative, and it does the world a lot of good to see people being creative while the whole world's going through this right now. The only place that's not going through this is Antarctica. It's just all of us. And people are looking, and there are, you've got Priscilla at home, and she's so bright. And there are moms and dads that are teaching their kids at home. They're accessing internet platforms. And how about if there's a little girl who's 5 or 6 or 7, and she's like, Mom, I want to dance. And they find you, Barbara, and you have like a 2-minute instructional you can show a move, and they can do it.
Right.
It's I'm going to be 59, so even I can do that. And and then you're from a business standpoint, it's like how you were wisely saying, when all the smoke clears, here's you. Here's life, laughter, and happiness, all creating all this new audience. Oh, I hope you do it.
Thank you. Yes, I've been coming up with a lot of ideas.
Good.
Yes, thank you. Okay. Ready for a call, Vanessa?
Yes.
Okay.
702. 702, you are on the air live with Psychic Vanessa Orr. Welcome to the show.
Well, thank you so much for having me, Vanessa. And I understand, there's greater issues in the world. But my life makes Elizabeth Taylor's love life look like a Disney movie. And in this age of social distancing, I was wondering, do you think I will ever find true love?
Yes. I have a question for you. And I'm wondering if I'm just going to ask this. It's kind of like the Cinderella story. Does this glass slipper fit on your foot? So I have a question. Did you recently have a relationship with a man that was, you were very close with a man, a really smart guy, very clever, very resourceful, almost like he could just touch anything and make it great. But since say 2.5, say in the last 2.5 months, things have gone awry?
It's been almost a year and a half, but yes, it was magical, and it just disintegrated in my face.
Oh yeah, I can feel the vibration in your voice shift, and I'm so sorry. Okay, this could be my. It's very interesting to me. I'm going to tell you very quickly, 702, that before shows which I'd love to call you. I feel like calling you Abby or Abigail. I don't know why. But anyway, before a show for Life, Laughter, and Happiness with Barbara Moore and Jonathan Alexander, or before my shows on News for the Soul, I always do a pre-reading. It's like my guides are like, you're going to sit down, you're going to do this reading. So if I ask the question, was that pre-reading for this woman, I get a yes. So when you ask the question, is your gentleman caller coming, I get a yes. They're showing me the number 8. The number 8 is usually a wealth number. And so I see if I ask the question, does the number 8 fit this gentleman, I get a yes. Is he wealthy? I get a yes. Now let's ask this question. You know, already we've been in trying times for 2020, right? So is he coming in this year? I get a no. But January 2021 is very, very promising. I'm going to say this. They keep showing me the number 8's very strong in this reading. So as you know, if you lay the number 8 on its side, you get the infinity symbol. This gentleman you have known in a previous lifetime, and I'm getting Kundalini confirmation on that. He's been waiting for you. You've been waiting for him. As we have been going through this reset, and I've said to Jonathan many times, I said this is a leveraged playing field, and this is what's happening, is that his life is clearing out to receive you. I think I feel a lot of kind of like a lot of hurt and pain coming off your solar plexus right now. I mean, feel free to jump in and say, Ness, that's not right. I'm fine with that. Have you been in a depressed state? Because I was shown that you had been.
You know, I was for quite a while, and then all of a sudden something clicked, and I just snapped out of it, and unbeknownst to me, I started inspiring other people by the actions I was doing, and I kind of gained momentum and strength from knowing I was helping others who were worse off than I was.
Yeah. It's kind of how it goes.
I don't know if that makes sense.
Oh, no, that makes perfect sense. You know, I told Jonathan, you know, some of the things that I studied were purely to help myself. I'm a Reiki practitioner. Oh, it's fabulous being a Reiki practitioner. And I haven't gone on to get my master's. But when you do that, you're helping yourself. But it's amazing, isn't it, how that shift in energy, everybody comes to you like you're a light. Because you are a light. That's why this previous
crazy.
Yeah. It's really supposed to happen that way because you are the person on the dark path that has the big lantern. That's you. And when you said it clicked, oh my gosh, that's such a miracle that kind of thing happens. What they were showing me was that in the scope of this relationship was lost. Now, the guy that you were with, I want you to understand, God bless him, right? But they kept showing me mule-headed or very stubborn. And he was distracted by a previous relationship. So just know that he's terribly unhappy. I mean, we would prefer he be happy, but he's very unhappy in his magical world. And they also told me to say 2 words, he's gone. But you already established that when you said something clicked. So what happened is that you wanted to go through, well, I don't want to say you want, well, you know how it is when you have those trials in life and you're like, gee, did I really ask for that? So I'm just going to say that this trial that you went through with this gentleman was to make you the light that you are so that this other guy can find you. That's what they're showing me to tell you.
And that makes perfect sense because I really do owe them a thank you because I have have achieved and I've received so much that I wouldn't have had I not gone through it. I wish I didn't have to go through that, but if I can help others, I think that was maybe the mission. But now I would really like happiness for me.
Oh,
I enjoy helping others. I really do.
Yeah.
But now it's my time.
Yeah. I think that's really why it's January. And it looks like to clear the path so that everything is just right. I mean, it's not just for us to reestablish or, not reestablish, but to find those new relationships. It is also to reestablish, for example, a married couple in a home, reestablishing a reconnection. And I was telling Barbara and Jonathan on their show a couple weeks ago, and actually 2 weeks before that is I was shown a baby boon coming November, December, January. And it was funny.
And there will be.
Yes, there will be. And right at the same time that we were just getting wind of this coronavirus and how it was hitting our shores, I had clients from overseas contacting me about manufacturing baby equipment. Typically, it was actually breast pumps. And so I always do readings for businesses or new product rollout or new services. So for you, going back to you, your new everything is January. But I'm going to tell you something. They told me to tell you, my guides and angels, that you have a glorious 2020. And it's, it's like you're talking about. It's like this privately held path that we're each leading, walking down these private paths. Here's Barbara talking about, and I hope she does it, and I want her to do it, is creating 2-minute videos to post on her Instagram so that we can all enjoy and learn something new. And you're doing something.
I actually have been posting every day something on Instagram, a silly, fun quarantine video, because in this time when they tell us to isolate, when you have people that are afraid, I don't believe isolation is really what we should do, although I'm not going to go against the grain. But if we can give them something to laugh about, just a couple minutes of joy, we can do it. So I've been doing these silly little videos just to lift everybody's spirits.
Yeah,
oh
I like
God.
those. I especially, I like this one where this lady was going on about, she was hilarious about not wanting to homeschool, that she could do anything, please God, but not this. And she was going, and because right then when we were getting the alerts that we're going to have our kids at home for a month, now it's 2 months. Oh my goodness. We were, all the mothers are thinking this, like that's what went through. And I sent it to all of my mothers that I knew, and they loved it. They were laughing, and it is a relief. And laughter is a relief. You need it, right?
We do need something fun to just to escape just for a minute.
Well, like I was just going to tell you something. Like one thing I always do with Vanessa is I always call her the doctor, because she sounds like a doctor when she talks. I went in and I found 2 sold contracts, and then I got rid of them, and then I tested your so-and-so, and then, I mean, it's like she makes you like you're on an examining table, but it's very relaxing that she does that, because doctors are very relaxing to talk to. And
so much confidence. It is. It's reassuring. It's so helpful.
I should do some videos about that. Talk to my dogs and my cats, since I can't talk to anybody right now. But
and Vanessa does do a lot of posts, a lot of great posts. So make sure, since you're on your Instagram, and caller, we didn't even get your name. Is it okay to tell your name?
Absolutely.
Okay.
It's Joanne.
Joanne. Well, thank you. Can you connect
name.
with us on an Instagram, Vanessa Orr, and then Life After Happiness? And we would love to share your funny. I'll forward your funny little videos every day.
Okay, at Real Estate Barbie.
Right.
So thank you so much for taking my call and for taking the time. I appreciate it.
Oh, I'm glad
thank
you called
ma'am.
in.
Thank you.
Bye,
Thank you,
Joanne.
Wow. Cute. Okay, so there's Joanne, and she has at Real Estate Barbie. That's cute.
That is so
That's her.
cute. You can totally remember that. I love it.
Yeah, that's easy. And you can hear it in
she
her
does
voice.
all. I found her on Instagram. I told her to call in tonight. She was like, day 6 of being in quarantine, day 10 of being in quarantine. And I saw the name like Real Estate Barbie, and I thought, okay, I got to write her. And then we got to talking, and and she's like, she was like telling me that she's an Aquarius and your birthday and everything. And I told her before the show, I said, "Are you excited about calling in?" She goes, "OMG, yes." So
That's awesome.
It's really good. So you really made her day, Vanessa.
I'm so glad.
Now, are you ready for the
Vanessa,
caller?
can you just tell everybody your Instagram, what your handle is?
Yes, thank you. It's Vomba11. That's VOMBA11. Yes, Vomba11.
Isn't that so funny that you have the 11? And I wasn't even thinking about this because I always just know your name, but you go by Vomba11, and then I'm like, I asked you about the number 11 last show. You have the number 11, and just learning about, and I was going to ask you this show, like, what is the 11 for in your handle?
Well, I'm going to tell you, that is what I was intuitively assigned by Instagram. I didn't even make it up. It just was given to me, and my birthday is the 29th. That's 2 plus 9, which is 11. It's just all intuitively driven. Even what we're going through with this coronavirus is intuitively driven. So
nothing by coincidence.
Nothing's by coincidence. Well, when Real Estate Barbie / Joanne called in, I was also going to tell her a little something about the day, which is March 30th, 2020. But we can all benefit from this. In numerology, today reduces to the number 1. Number 1 is autonomous. It's independence, it's self-reliance, it's self-realization. And this is what the show was about tonight. Life, Laughter, and Happiness. It's about realization, self-realization, independence, going forward independently in our homes as we all isolate, as we all obey the stay-at-home orders that come our way. I talk to Jonathan, and I can hear a shift in the vibration of his voice when I talk to him each time. He's more and more excited. He's got more and more ideas, and he's doing things for himself. And he's always very forward-looking. Jonathan, you're always forward-looking. You're always future-looking. And Barbara is always managing. Barbara's always managing issues around her, and not just her friends, and not just her friends, but family, and not just family, but community, and always looking forward-looking as well. I right now this is a very unique time. It's going to go down in the history books. It's going to be interesting to see how people write about this. In my mind every day, I say to myself, I wonder who's writing the book right now. How many books are going to be born as a result of this self-isolation and mandatory isolation? It is an awakening. It's a rebirth. It's not exactly how we planned it, but my goodness, the whole planet is in isolation.
Now, I do think that one good thing about this is that it's going to force the countries to get along. Because when you really think about it, you have to tell the truth. Otherwise, we're all going to be hurt by this. I mean, you cannot make stuff up about the disease. Otherwise, everyone's going to be hurt. The United States, I don't know. The only problem that I have is that we don't know who to, every time there seems to be no final uniform things that we know about this virus. We just say we don't know yet, you know. But
your first point is true, though, and what Vanessa said last show, that it's really all about love, and the world is coming together. Mm-hmm. Yeah. That's more than ever before. More than ever. It is about love, and it is about new beginnings. And it's so sad. I mean, it just tugs at your heart, and it even makes me nauseated to see the death and the families that I feel the energy of the suffering. But also then pulling, like equally pulling, is the energy of newness, like new starts. Many of those I'm feeling too.
Yes, that's a really good point. There's also
interesting time.
It is. You know, also in the scope of being isolated is solitude. And when we have solitude, I had a small discussion with a really smart guy about this about 25 years ago. And he talked about solitude being so kind of a restorative. And I thought how different that was in the perspective. But in the scope of solitude, you find the introspection of what your skills and talents are. And it's so surprising. You know, it's energetic. It's an energy that rises up on the inside of you. So you're very downcast that you can't see people whom you love and people that you enjoy. And some people have lost their jobs over this. It's like I've said before, it's a leveled playing field. We're all going to come out on pretty much the same level. And so you'll bring with you those new skill sets, that new revision of self. I mean, because a lot of people are going to come out different from this. And I'm hoping that they'll see the good in having taken care of themselves. They'll come out triumphant. Like, I took care of my family. I took care of my relationships, even though I couldn't, physically be, say, with my mom, or I couldn't physically be, say, with my, I don't know, just think of somebody. It's a good shift, a good lesson here. And it's no fun. Yeah. Go ahead.
Like I'm thinking like they were talking about the 5-minute testings now. Like this is something I was wondering about. You, in a sense, could have gatherings because let's say everybody get tested, and then if you get positive, don't go to the gathering,
Yeah, but I think that's what they're trying to obviously avoid. I see what your thinking is. But I think that even if you're showing symptoms or not, it's so dodgy in how they can nail down a test. Now, did you all see this new test that's coming out that you prick your finger? So there's a needle in one end, a vial in the middle, and then on the end it's like a SIM card, like what we have in our phones. And it reads the result. Yeah, I saw that today. That's what I'm saying. In the scope of this isolation, there are some really interesting, innovative ideas coming out to create tests for COVID.
Is this something they put inside you, or is this something that reads the blood?
It's a blood, finger prick, and it looks like a large sewing needle, kind of like a large embroidery needle that's that long, and it has and what it is, there's 4 in a pack, and they need the 3 or 4 results in order to get a compilation over, say, 4 days to determine if an individual,
Okay, so it takes the blood and then it reads it, right, is what you're saying, right?
And and that SIM card, if you can imagine this, just use your imagination, is a needle on one end to prick the end of your finger. In the center is a vial to hold the blood. At the opposing end of the needle is a SIM card, for lack of a better description. And then you, through your smartphone, you send the code that ends up in that SIM card to a data collection bank online. And then they know the results of that first blood test, and you know the results of that blood test. And then in the pack, there's like 2 or 3 more needles, because what they're trying to do is get a leveraged value, an analysis of your blood to see if you are a candidate for COVID-19.
Oh.
Well,
yeah, I thought that was interesting.
Wow. Okay, wait, just 1 second. I wanted to say one more thing on that. I was announcing to the group, like I was on a stream I entered last night, and talking to new friends on there, and I told them, this is a new beginning, everybody. This is for us, the singers and the rappers and the artists and the painters and everybody who meets here to chat and talk. And, you know, pretty soon they're going to have some kind of device where they just like kind of like hold it in your hand and just put it against your body somehow, and then you're going to know. And now Vanessa is telling, there it is. And I was saying,
you knew it.
Hey, advancement is just going to be skyrocketing, like you said, Vanessa, and so much scientific advancements are going to happen rapidly. So that's exciting. I mean, that is wonderful. And you know what? When we make it through this, because we are going to, when we make it all through this, we will be so much ahead, light years ahead, and stronger. And then, like our other caller said, feeling of empowerment, because she changed her mindset. Her thinking was different. The world's going to be different. Everybody's thinking could be different. And then you're a magnet for good things to happen. She was a magnet.
Exactly.
Yes.
Okay.
So I think that,
Real
like,
estate
let's
party?
not get down. Like, let anything get you down. Just we're trying to point out the good that is coming out of it here as well, right?
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, I think people are kind
caller.
of patient.
She had one more point, Johnny, that let her finish her sentence.
I can come back to that.
Okay.
All right, caller, you're on the air.
You're on the air. Welcome.
Hi.
You're on live on Life After Happiness with Psychic Vanessa Orr, MBA.
Well, thank you for having me. My name is Kitty, and I'm calling because I Googled myself one time, and I wanted to see what would come up, and I came across a book that was written by Aleister Crowley. Are you familiar with him?
I know that name, don't I?
Yeah.
Aleister Crowley? Your name came up?
Yeah, my name came up because my name is used in the book. And I always wondered, because my name is very rare, it's my surname, and I was wondering why Aleister Crowley would use my name, which is a pretty rare name, in the book. And my family has had like a series of like, I don't know, just misfortune and things like that. And I've always been like, well, is there some kind of curse or something? Did he have a problem, you know, with my family? Is that why he included us in this book about witchcraft? And so I was wondering what if you had any feelings about the connection between me and Aleister Crowley.
Okay, well, let me test what I'm shown right out of the starting gate. Did you know him in another lifetime? I get a yes on that. Was there a curse? You know, initially when I tested that, I got a no. Now I test it again, I get a yes. Can I ask you, when I pick up the vibration in your voice, and listen, if I get this wrong, please just say, Ness, you got this wrong, and I'm fine with that.
Okay.
Do you have an ire? Do you have like? Does he kind of get you the hair up on the back of your neck, as they say, or strike a little ire in you? His name?
Yeah, I mean it's definitely like. It's definitely strange. There's more than one parallel to my life in the book. There's several. And so it's not just my name. There's a few other things that are just screaming like, wow, this is too coincidental not to be something, but as far as whether or not it's good or bad or a feeling like that, it's more of just like there is a connection, and I'm not a very spiritual person. My friend who is a spiritual person says it's because, some people are and some people aren't connected, So I think I'm a little bit disconnected, but I don't discredit that they're things that I can't see or understand. So I just wondered if you had felt anything like a connection between me and him.
First of all, you're very bright. And secondly, a very bright person is a threat to someone who is egocentric, narcissistic, hiding truth. Now, interestingly enough, everyone wants to know what a blight is, and few people know what a blight is, but I will pick up on a blight probably once every, 3 years. A blight is like a white, it's kind of like a whiteout. You know how a storm, a blizzard is a whiteout and you can't see in front of you? Alistair actually puts up a screen or a block or what I call a white blight. And I never see these very often, but I can remove those. Is this a curse? Oh my gosh, I just got confirmation that it was. Got a question. Would Alistair have known your family? Because I'm picking up a yes.
I have no idea. It's possible because he did live in Sicily, and that's where my grandfather was from, on the other side of the island. But as far as them living there at the same time, I'm not really sure.
I find this to be a very intriguing reading. The blight can be removed. That is paranormal. When I see a blight, I just want you to envision this. A white orb, a white ball. And this is what's showing up in this reading. It is between you and he. And so, I find this to be a very, very intriguing reading that would really require more time. But for intents and purposes, I want to do this. Tonight after the show and or tomorrow, I want to remove the blight. And I just got a confirmation to do that. So I remove the blight, and maybe you could call back in a couple weeks.
Yeah.
Because I think this blocks you. And you're a very bright person. And I have a question. Yeah. Have you considered writing a book or doing some kind of very creative what's it like if I say to you, do you like art? Do you like pastels? Do you like oils? What does that mean to you when I say, okay? Do you feel like you're crowded out or that you can't quite get your ideas down on canvas or paper?
Yeah.
Okay, you know what? Oh, this is really exciting. I loved how Jonathan posted on Blog Talk Radio today for Life, Laughter, and Happiness because he had all the perfect hashtags, all the perfect keywords, and one of them was paranormal. Mm-hmm. This is a paranormal event, and I really commend you for picking up on that. So I'm going to remove that. And maybe you would think about calling in a couple weeks or maybe next time if I'm on the show.
Mm-hmm. I should say something. This is a mutual friend of me and Barbara's. Barbara, you know this.
I haven't even recognized her voice. Oh my God!
This is a friend of me and Barbara's. Barbara, we know her on the app. She is one of the people on
the app. Okay. Yeah. Wow. Okay, Kitty. Okay. Thank you for calling. How wonderful. And here I was just talking about this social thing I was on, and then, what I was trying to announce to everybody last night, like it can be exciting, for, it's how you bring it in. It's so sorrowful too, but wow. So I'm so glad that you came, that you heard Johnny and I, and then you came and called in. Wow.
I love it.
I am
think
too.
It's really exciting.
Oh my gosh,
so
this is
and then how
so
lucky
exciting.
she is, Vanessa, to
and
get you.
Yeah. Yeah.
Wow.
Oh,
I've been
I'm so
thinking
lucky.
about this for so long that it's like a relief to get to talk to someone who understands it.
Yes.
Yes.
And I saw it. And this blight sits on your left side. It's in between you and he. Listen, when we meet smart people, you know, you, Barbara, Jonathan, and I, we have an affinity for meeting those people because it will expand our territories. We get to connect with someone that's bright and wonderful, someone who's bright and wonderful and creative and intelligent, and that's like the most wonderful thing. But some people have a narcissistic personality disorder, and they get intimidated by you. That's in your family bloodline. I saw a little dalliance between your grandfather and this guy, and like I said, I'll do some work here. You can tell I'm really excited about this, and I want you to say, I want you to know something. You will notice a shift as I work on this block.
Wow.
You're gonna, food's gonna taste better. Things are gonna look better. You're gonna be more cheerful, and you're gonna be more optimistic. Not that you're not, but it's like something that's,
It's been on her shoulders and in the back of her mind for so long.
Oh, it's
that
in front of
must
her.
feel
I
good.
want to say since I was a kid, and I remember describing to my mom when I was really small about there was something blocking me, and it was keeping me from getting, and I couldn't really describe it. And she was like, I have no idea what you're talking about, but it was like almost like a wall or something I couldn't pass.
It is. It's like a white wall, and it's on your left side. I have a question. How is your eyesight in your left side? How's your hearing in your left side? Just curious.
Well, I do wear glasses, so I'm not really sure the difference between the right and the left, but they are different.
Okay. I'm going to do this work with just such joy. And I want you to just know that if you notice shifts, that that's the blight that's being removed. And now here's something else, Kitty. Because we're talking about it, the blight knows that it's been discovered. And so the vibration in it has to drop and go away. Also, will you give me a second? I want to take a real quick dive to see where you are on the Edwards scale. Edwards scale is a platform of vibration. I can't get quite to 300 with you. Let's see. Is it more than 200 with Kitty? Is it more than 210? You're just what are you always like very pensive and in thought and in concern? Do you smile very much? I get a no.
Yeah, people have always said I was very serious, since I was small, like a baby. They're like, why is she so serious all the time?
Oh yeah, because you're trying to figure out what this is. That's one thing. Plus, you're very bright. But as soon as the show's over, I will do some work, and I will do more work every day as I'm led. Okay.
Okay. I appreciate it. Thank you so much. I'll call back in a couple of weeks.
My honor.
Right.
We'll let you know when Vanessa is going to be back on for sure, Kitty. Thank you so much. And what great news! What great news that Vanessa that you said that you can actually clear this, or I mean, you can actually clear a blight.
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah.
How is that spelled? How do you spell this? B-L-I-G-H-T or I-T?
Exactly. That's exactly right. You know where I first saw it? I first saw one of those in 2013. I probably had seen one before, but I saw it on a woman that I removed it from her, and she is now this amazing spiritual teacher, I think, up in Washington State, and she travels around the world, and she was in this, like, accounting job. She was really good at accounting, but she never liked it, and I saw her at a seminar. This shaman was teaching this seminar here in Houston, and I can't even remember how I got invited to that seminar. But I walked in and I saw this woman. So after the seminar, I said to this woman, I said, hey, this might sound weird, but I saw this, and this around you. And she just looked at me. And I said, and I think you're in the wrong job, and there's a guy at your job that really likes you, but you don't like him, and it looks like you want to not do this, but you want to do something like massage therapy. And she became a massage therapist, and she is now this spiritual teacher. And here's what she does. She volunteers her time to vet, Marines and Army vets that have gone to Afghanistan and have gone through warfare and have lost, a part of themselves or have lost, they've gone through post-traumatic stress syndrome. And she actually treats them with spiritual shaman practices and massage therapy, and they get better.
Oh, wow. Yes.
Can you imagine going from a job you don't like in accounting and you come this and help people? It's just amazing to me.
It's wonderful. And you know what? Okay, when you were asking her about her eyesight or her ears, I would like to tell you that I've noticed this for 3 or 4 days now. My left ear is clogged. I can't hear very well out of it. I mean, I'm trying to clear it. I can feel that it's clogged. Thank you. But why were you asking her about this sides, and what does that mean?
Well, okay, so the blight, you mean? The blight is...
about when you asked her about her eyesight. You asked her about her eyesight and her hearing.
Yes. Sorry, I'm kind of like jumping around, and I shouldn't do that so much. So a blight is a white orb that blocks communication. If you think about a white wall, we just look at the wall. It's just a white wall, and we can't look around it. We can't get above it. We can't. It blocks us, and that's what she was talking about. Because I kept being shown that her creativity was blocked, and it's on her left side. I mean, as a psychic medium, that's what I'm shown, and I test, and that's what I'm shown. So it's on her left side. You, on the other hand, someone doesn't want you to hear something. Now, is that, if I ask, is there someone that doesn't want Barbara to hear something? I think we know who we're talking about.
Yes.
Yeah.
But they have that power that actually can affect. Wow. Whoa.
It is powerful. Words and thoughts are so powerful. Thoughts can become no, let me just back up. Thoughts do become things. Attacks, weaponized, they become blight, like what Kitty's dealing with. That guy spoke something to her grandfather, and it passed down into the bloodline. That's another thing, is that we don't know what our ancestors have been up to or what they've gone through, but we might have ailments or shortcomings or blights in our life. We need to go back in the DNA and clear them. And that's what I do for people. I go back in the DNA. I do readings, and I test how far back to go generation-wise. And I also test through ailments to find out how that applies, and then I go and clear it all. And it really helps people because they become more creative. They become themselves. Look at Kitty. Ever since she was a little kid, she's like, something's blocking me, Mom. And her mom says, hey, I don't know what you're talking about, but we do. We know what it is.
Yeah.
It's like that. I was like that woman I saw at that shamanic seminar. It was like I just had to talk to her afterwards, and everything made sense to her. It was a blight in her way, and I removed the blight, and look what she became. She went from being an accountant, very unhappy, terribly unhappy, with some guy chasing her at work that just was not her cup of tea, to becoming in love and a massage therapist, and I think she's a Reiki practitioner or Reiki master, and she's helping vets from being in Afghanistan for free.
Wow.
She does that for free.
Wow. And you know what I was thinking, if we only helped one by me going on that social platform and then bringing Johnny on and then meeting Kitty and having you help her with this lifelong thing that's then blocking her, then to me, that's all worth all the hours that I've been putting into this new thing, just helping one person, I feel. And I mean, we're going to help way more than that, but it's just already worth it. And you are so right when you say there's no coincidences, because, right, Johnny, us going and then you getting this relationship and talking to her and her calling and getting this taken care of finally, that could be the whole reason why I ever was on it in the first place.
Oh, yeah. Well,
are you ready for another caller?
Yes.
Okay.
I'm ready.
Wait, hold on. Are you sure? Because you didn't get to finish that sentence either, Vanessa.
I'm sorry. Vanessa, I'm sorry.
It's quite all right. I'm good.
He gets excited. Okay, so yes, let's have another caller. Okay. Hi. I didn't catch your area code, but welcome to the show. You're on live with Psychic Vanessa Orr, MBA. Welcome to the show.
Hi, is that me?
Yes.
Yes.
Oh, excited. Thank you. This is Pat. How are you both? And Vanessa.
Hi. Pat.
Hey,
Hi.
Hey, Pat.
It's been a while. And Vanessa, I talked to you the first time you were on the show, and you had me put 3 in Scotch tape on my apartment door, and it's still there. But I'm really excited about this conversation because you're reminding me. This has crossed my mind recently a few times. I had years. I don't know if this is the same thing. I had years where I would wake up in the middle of the night and say head to the bathroom or somewhere, and I couldn't see. I had this white in front of my eyes, in front of my path. And then I would dream often that I'd be waking up and trying to get to the bathroom or somewhere. And that huge white in front of me and in front of my eyes, and it also made me sort of feel like maybe I was moving through something thick. And for years, and I think it's gone, but I want to ask you now that you're talking about this, what was it? Is it still there?
Okay, let me test. First of all, where you were experiencing this was not in the same place you are now. Is that true?
Yes, that's true.
Okay, that was an entity that was in that your room, and then was there a bit of a hallway to the bathroom? Is that correct?
Well, the last place I was in, it was a bedroom going out to the living room with an open doorway to the kitchen and the bathroom.
Okay. There was an entity in that apartment, that space. That was, I'm picking up a very male, and it's a very male entity. I'm kind of stumbling over my words because I'm in the apartment. It looks like it was an apartment. But it was just at least, okay, and that's what I'm picking up. And he was that, I don't want you to get too warm, but if I ask the question, was that a murder, I get a yes.
Interesting.
So
there was also a young man that lived upstairs that just caused, I barely could sleep because he was schizophrenic, and he paced constantly, and the floorboards creaked all the time. So
you see why.
Do you think he had something, a connection, or was he just picking up on it?
He was picking up on this entity that was haunt building, and I get it. I'm getting it's not only getting a yes, but I'm getting prana confirmation and kundalini confirmation on that. So that was what they're telling me was a very uneasy spirit, but it was a murder, and it was a young man, and so he was blinding you. You know, if I ask the question about you, Pat, are you psychic? Now, everybody's psychic, okay? So you have a strong psychic capacity, and you need to trust that intuition. That guy, that entity knew that you would figure out that was a haunted space. He didn't want you to go. Now, when we have someone like you around, we want that light around, especially if we are a low energy entity. We need you in order to survive. It's much like a person that's narcissistic or a sociopath or a psychopath. They're liars, and they need people like us who are rather unassuming. Yeah. That's what this. Yeah, I always say. My mantra is always that dead people are dead narcissists. You know, I mean, people who haunt are dead narcissists. So this gentleman that was murdered, he keeps showing me a red golf shirt, and that guy is still in that building as we speak. So he was harassing the kid above you. He was harassing the kid. Yeah, that kid could never sleep. He felt touched.
Exactly.
Yeah, and you, it seems to me, can I ask you a question real quickly about your mother? But your mother, did she have a lot of prayerful or spiritual platforms about her?
Spiritual platforms, what do you mean?
Well, prayerful, was she prayerful? Or what? Who was the prayerful woman?
She was quite depressed and quite miserable, and I don't know.
Was it a grandmother or an aunt?
I had a grandmother that had such severe anxiety like me. I don't.
You can tell that to leave. In fact, I'll make that anxiety leave for you, and I'll fix this for you, Pat. But there was someone who was very prayerful for you. Can I ask you, was there a nun? I keep being shown a nun or a Sunday school. No? Okay.
There was a cleaning lady, honestly, but if I didn't have my grandfather and this cleaning lady and my grandmother, I'd probably become a criminal, but a lousy one at that. My life was so difficult. They saved me, barely, and she would always, the cleaning woman would always say, she was Irish, she'd always say, "Oh, God love you." I'm sure she was very religious, very Catholic.
Okay, yeah. Okay, because I kept seeing nuns. I kept seeing like a Sunday school setting. I'm going to go with cleaning lady. But I just kept seeing this woman that was popping up, and she was very prayerful for you. And I thought it was a mom, but I'm guessing that the women that were blood to you pretty much let you down. And
absolutely.
You are
absolutely.
Yeah, and you are correct that you were saved. That you could have become a little criminal. But you know what? That's not even stage with you, Pat. I mean, it's like you said, you would have been a bad one at it. And it's like me. I'm a terrible liar. So I've told Jonathan. I said if I try to lie, it's like the worst. It's like I cannot. So
right.
Yeah. So and you can't even really think up a bad idea. Yeah.
It's just not true. It's no integrity.
I seem to remember this struggle with this white thing before as well, but I could be wrong.
Say it again. I'm sorry, Pat. You said you remember what now?
I seem to remember the struggle with this white energy before, but I could be wrong.
No, can I ask you something? Did you ever feel choked in your sleep?
I'm going to say no. But you're sort of like ringing a deep, deep bell. Oh, listen, I was put through ECT, electric convulsive therapy, in this life, and they would screw up the anesthesia, and because my son had malignant hypothermia to anesthesia, so they had to use a different one on me, and they kept screwing it up. So what they did was they would paralyze me first, rather than whatever would. So I literally was awake and paralyzed, and it was like the darkest, blackest, coldest black steel, and I couldn't breathe. And they did it many, many, many times, and that was absolutely terrifying.
Oh. Yeah, I can see how that would be, and I'm sorry that you went through that. Very medieval in this lifetime.
Yes.
That's quite the prescription, Pat. You've been through a lot.
Oh, my
I want
goodness.
to say something to you right now. I want you, when you get off the phone with Life, Laughter, and Happiness, that you just sit down and just relax for a minute and tell all of that to go away. And I'm also going to clear that in you and in your son. I am
and my son. Wow.
Yeah, because it does go through. It will go forward 2 generations, what you've gone through, and it will go back all generations. So this isn't just your responsibility. This is in your bloodline from generations and generations ago why you're going through this. Those days are over.
I've been really worried about my son. I was actually going to call and ask about him. And that's probably why I so neurotically worry about him. When therapists or whatever say, you got to let go, you got to let go. And I say, yeah, I know. But I worry about him, and that could be what I'm feeling, is that this is going to go towards him.
No. What we're talking about tonight, go towards your friend? I get a no.
No, my son.
Oh, your son. Yeah. No. Yes. Your son. Because it's in the bloodline.
Right.
It's in the blood. I'm sorry. I must have misunderstood what you said earlier. So when I clear that, because I am showing that there's it looks like panic attacks, and there's looks like things chasing you. And listen, I won't go into what I'm being shown, but what I will do after the show and tomorrow, just like what I'm doing for everyone else, is I will clear all that. And I will clear it for your son, and I will clear it for the generation ahead.
Thank you so much.
Well, absolutely. And please understand something, is that when we are psychically inclined and intuitive, we do draw the moths to us, like a candlelight draws a moth.
Yeah.
So you have to be strong and raise your border and trust what you see. The other thing is you have to trust yourself with whom you share data. There are some people out there that like to create trouble for others and put them in situations like what you've been in. I'm sorry about your mom, and I'm sorry about what happened. And absolutely.
Is there's someone in this building that's causing trouble for me? It may be as small as just jealousy, but I'm in an apartment building. Yep. Mhm.
Yeah. It's not you personally. She's intimidated by many women, and it looks like it goes back to how she was reared when she was 5. Looks like 3, 4, 5 years of age. She doesn't trust women.
I'm not. She's causing damage. And she's tricky and manipulative, and it's difficult for me to remove myself, because now she's incredibly friendly in front of people.
Yeah, don't participate. Yeah, don't participate. Now I'm going to tell you a little trick that I taught someone that already knew this trick, and I think Barbara and Jonathan know where I'm going to go with this. I want you to put a black shirt on tomorrow. Do you have a black shirt?
Yep.
And I want you to say, I hide myself from whatever her name is.
Uh-huh.
Just do that. And don't share this data with anyone. I mean, it's on the show, but just do that. Don't share it with anyone there. But put the black shirt on.
Okay.
And, and say, before you go out, and I think you'll be amazed, because she won't see you.
Wow.
I didn't think this up, but I occasionally, if I want to be hidden, for example, if I don't want someone to see me, I will put black on. So it works energetically, it works psychically, and it works physically.
So will this one day of doing it take care of it from then on?
I tell you what, let's just take this for a test drive, that you do it for the next few days. And then if you want to test it and wear a white shirt and don't say, I hide myself from so-and-so, but everybody else can see me.
Okay.
I think you'll see the contrast, the comparison and contrast. The results will be interesting.
Wow.
You strike me as someone that likes to learn, and am I correct that you like to read?
Oh my goodness, no, not read because of my anxiety, but I'm on the computer constantly researching, and another thing I wanted to say too.
Yeah, reading.
Jonathan,
it has to be a book you hold.
Jonathan and Barbara, I've learned about so many remedies for this virus. I'd love to, have an opportunity to share with you. Or anybody.
You can please post it. Post it on our Facebook. We would love for you to do that on our group page or our Facebook. It's open for you to do that. And because, Pat, we know that. I have been listening to you call in for a long time now, and you do work on yourself so much.
Oh, I do.
And you have.
I do.
You've come a long way. And now I'm just finding out for the first time that you had this done to you, this therapy, where you felt very frightened by. I don't know what age you started this at, but that you went through a lot, like Vanessa is realizing.
Oh my God, it's
wow.
endless. It's endless what I've been through. I've been sent away to mental hospitals by my parents, and the places were like horrific. They were, sexual abuse and like Nazi leader and just so many things my whole life. One more quick question, and I'm exhausted, so I would love to maybe get an email and pass what I've written out in my email to all of you rather than write it all out on your Facebook again. But
yes.
Another thing is, all of a sudden, I'm better after 66 years of hell. And it's so hard to believe that it's going to stay. And it's almost like being an introvert. This virus is just phenomenal for me. I'm having a ball. But I don't think that's really it. Suddenly, I'm better. And can you tell me what that's about? Is it real? Will it stay? Is it because I'm taking vitamins now or doing homeopathy or any idea?
I would say that because you're researching the coronavirus, it's for you, it's education. That's why I was asking you earlier, do you like to read? And you said no, but I like to research on the computer. And I'm going to say this, is that sometimes we miss our entry point when we incarnate. What does that mean? Sometimes people say to me, I was born 20 years too late. Or sometimes people say to me,
200 years for me.
Oh, well, see?
Yep.
Were you too early or too late?
I was too late. I don't want to be here. This is like way too futuristic for me.
Oh, I see. Well, it could be because, okay, let me ask this real quick. Sometimes we have versions of ourselves, Pat, that interfere with us. And so what we do is that we ask those versions of ourselves, they can be from other dimensions, parallel lifetimes. There are many lifetimes that are also always happening simultaneously. So there are versions of ourselves that you can say to stop. Actually, I'm going to say that at 66, I think you've been through quite a trial in this life. The karmic debt that you might have served up yourself, can you just say, I'm done, and just relax and walk? Yeah, I think you've already done that.
Yeah, I have. But you know what? I don't know if I want the 200-year-old being to stop. I'd much rather be there than here.
Yeah, this is definitely a past lifetime that is you did not want to leave that other lifetime, and you didn't leave on very good circumstances. It was very tragic. There was a lot of love and family, and there was a lot of joy in that lifetime. It doesn't look like you had a lot of money, but it was a very free, spirited, and lovely time. If I ask, did this happen in North America, I get a no. If I ask, was this in Russia, I get kind of a yes. So Eastern Russia, Western Russia, it looks like it'd be, the side of Russia that's closest to England, the western side. How do you feel about Russia?
That's always made me a little uncomfortable, to tell you the truth.
Okay. Well, it might have been the end time of life, but I can see a very bucolic life and lifestyle, very free, and it looks like you were a female and very happy. It looks like you had lots of friends, and it looks like you had a very doting mother back in that lifetime. And sometimes sometimes we do remember the previous lifetimes. We do see future lifetimes. It's very possible. There are parallel lifetimes happening all the time. I have had clients contact me about dreams that they've had where they've reached through, maybe like where Christ is walking through the streets of Jerusalem, and they describe an actual biblical scene, and they have not read the Bible. And so I will, go through and check what that was, and what it is. It's another dimension. There are multiple.
Oh, yeah.
You're not as far.
I basically remember Auschwitz in many little different. That followed me through my whole life until I finally faced it, and it's kind of let go now. But clearly, I was there.
Yes, yes. I have had clients that have told me they walked out of a gas chamber and they weren't dead, and so they were shot. And they described it very, very detailed. And so what you're saying to me is quite clear, because you think about the numerous souls, the millions and millions and millions of souls that went to just Auschwitz. I mean, they're here.
I came back right away because somehow I figured I'd be able to save my children who were left there. That was the time.
Yep, went back to save people. Yep, that you have put yourself in harm's way very often. Now it's time to relax. And can I tell you something? Ask Archangel Samuel. Samuel is he's a wonderful archangel that helps us find lost times, lost things. Just have him come and sit with you and help him gather up these lifetimes. Have you had past life regression?
No, I've never felt like I could do it, or I would, I have too much of imagination, so I don't trust that I would do it. I feel like I'd be making things up on my own.
Yeah, that's I can understand that. I don't think you're making them up. I do think that these are very clear, vivid memories of other lifetimes and other dimensions. And the one way that you can test is when you muscle test. Is this a yes? Is this a no? For these particular stratas of data that you are remembering. So
I don't do that well. I can't. I've tried muscle testing.
It's probably a hard thing. It's a hard thing to look at things that are difficult. But can I tell you that you're very bright, and I find you say imaginative. I say you have a good memory. Okay. That has, when we incarnate, our subconscious is tabula rasa. It is a clean slate. But yours was not.
No, I remember. I mean, I came in. I was wonderful until about 2. Clearly, I had God still attached to me, and then things happened here that I lost it all, So I remember 2 years, 3 years of really loveliness, about the world.
I believe I am picking up a yes on that.
Well, I'm not afraid of looking at things. What I meant was I can't do kinesiology. I get too emotionally involved, and it doesn't work.
I see. Okay.
Oh.
Well, see
wow.
You know what
I see? Oh. How I see this is really wonderful is that Vanessa can help you stop this from going down to affect your son and your family for generations to come, instead of having to fix somebody who it has trickled down from who knows how far before. Earlier when we had that call. So this is absolutely amazing.
It's phenomenal.
I got so lucky that Vanessa can help you to not. You are you're the last one. So it doesn't have to go down to generation after generation after generation. Wow.
And years ago, a relative came in, and it's not like a little relative. I understood it to be like a bloodline, but almost a psychic bloodline or whatever, spiritual, that said to me, please, please stop the line of abuse. We're all asking you to stop it. And that was very, very moving. And all I've done so far is I've stopped the line of emotional torment abuse with my son. I'm so proud of that. But, not this more ethereal bloodline. I just never known if I stopped it or not. And I agree with you, I probably haven't yet. So thank you.
But you're on your way to, right? She's on her way to.
Vanessa's going to help me.
Yeah. I will clear it for you.
Oh, I'm so grateful. I don't want to keep you any longer. I will, Jonathan, I have your connection. I'll connect with you and see if you'll let me send you an email with the information.
Sure.
I'm sure he will.
But I'll tell you one,
Kat.
I'll tell you one
thing. You made a lot of headway today.
tell you one thing very quickly. If everyone gargles 3 times a day with saline or even better, oil of oregano, which tastes horrendous, but a few drops in 2 ounces of water, if you gargle every day, that will help your immune system not get overloaded so it can fight. The virus sits in our throat for days. If we do that gargling, it will be like 1 sneeze happening upon us versus 10. It will help so much for the fight. And then very high doses of zinc, vitamin C, and D. If you start to get this flu or virus, just beat it up with high doses of that. And again,
because then it doesn't go down to your lungs. That's what I heard too. It has a few weeks in the throat until then if it keeps growing, then it will go down to your lungs. But we have the chance to maybe get it by the heat or these different things.
Right.
Those ideas that you had. So why not try it? Like, why not?
Absolutely. Absolutely. Thank you.
Although I don't have
so
what you're talking about in the kitchen, so I probably don't want to go risk my life to go to the grocery store to find that. So
do
saline.
Do salt water, warm salt water.
Okay, I will. Well, thank you, Pat. And
thank you all so much.
Vanessa. Yes. Vanessa, this is an amazing show. Amazing
I'm so
show.
grateful I got in. Vanessa, thank you so much.
You're welcome. My honor.
Thanks for
My honor. Thank you, Pat.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, everybody.
Great. You're welcome. So, hey, we didn't even tell everybody what your website is. It's Full Soul Readings, FULL.
That's correct.
FullSoulReadings.com, Vanessa Orr, MBA, and then also her Instagram, Vomba. That's catchy. Vomba11, VOMBA 11, because your Instagram posts are amazing and totally clever and helpful. Yes.
Well, I'm so glad. They're all intuitively driven, Barbara. You
won't forget about my left ear, right? When we hang up.
Yes, I'm clearing that because they keep showing me during this while I was on the phone with Pat and Kitty, or at least Pat anyway. They said Barbara doesn't want to hear it. So I will clear that.
I'm closing so it's not them making me not hear. It's me saying I don't want to hear it, and I'm closing my own self off.
But we can't blame you for this because you've had enough. It's like enough. So I will close that.
Yeah, and it's disrupting. It's just all the other things, yes, but I love working. I love what I do, and I love being creative, and I love getting into it. And this just interrupts me. It's like girl interrupted, and I don't need it. And so I'm not afraid. I don't feel fear. I have a lot of faith, and I protect myself, and I just don't have, I'm so afraid, like peeking
Barbara,
out. No, I'm not.
No, what it is that you're a smart, pragmatic individual. That you don't want to hear is prattle. It's not conducive and not pertinent to your life, and I will clear it out. You can see I'm being rather cryptic about what I'm saying, but I can see what it is. I can see I can see the source, and I will clear it out.
I mean, say what it is. It is cryptic. So, we've got to take a hard work on this one. It takes intense work. So I really appreciate that.
My honor to do that, and for everyone that was on the show tonight, it's my honor.
Yes,
and I'm always so honored to be on your show.
You're probably working a lot, though, too, because everybody who is wondering the same question about the world, and everybody's going through so many things in their individual lives, because their lives, it's not like they didn't have a life and then this happened. They had a life going on as well. There's a lot of different scenarios of different problematic things going on. Plus, they're on the road to trying to heal themselves, and they're just totally confused, a lot of them. So have you been overloaded with work, with people just needing you more at this time?
I have the same consistent trail, if you will, of clients. I really do. And I was telling Jonathan earlier, I was doing a reading for a couple who lost their dog this morning. The dog passed away. And so I do transition work. Yeah, they're like, can you please tell so-and-so in heaven that our dog is on the way? But, it doesn't exactly work like that. And so then I do transition readings for family, for loved ones that pass on. And they're all very interesting. I've even had a woman, oh gosh, what year was this? This must have been 2015. She passed away. She was a very beloved grandmother and great-grandmother from Ohio. And the whole family called me. I mean, the sisters, the husbands of the sisters, and Grandma Helen was passing away. And she came here. She came through my house about 6 days later after she passed away. And I was telling the family how she was transitioning. And I saw this woman come through my house. Oh, my gosh, I got chills telling you the story. So I called the family. I couldn't get it off my mind about what I had seen at my house. And the dog, my dog Cash, he was alerted too. I mean, he followed this entity through the house. And I contacted the family that night. I couldn't take it anymore. And I said, got a question. You know how Helen passed away? Did you bury her in this suit with this flower on the suit, and it was this color, and she had this blouse? They said, yeah, that's exactly how we buried Grandma Helen. And I said, well, she was here. And they didn't seem very surprised. They're really a terrific family, and they still stay in touch with me. I still have all the same clients. But so the dog, not the dog that passed away today, his name is Aussie. And Aussie was abused, and Aussie passed away, but Aussie didn't go to whom they thought that Aussie should go to. Aussie went to a little girl in heaven today. So,
good.
Yeah, I know. It's all a little different to hear this, but yeah, it is comforting. And what I do is I do a reading and I test Barbara what I'm shown, and yep.
What do you mean she went to a little girl in heaven?
Aussie was supposed to go to this gentleman. His name is Randy, and Randy died a couple years ago. But owners were asking me, the clients were asking me, why did our dog Aussie choose to go to this little girl? And he knows this little girl. I think this little girl had Aussie when the people that contacted me, the clients contacted me today about Aussie passing away. They had found Aussie in a parking lot, and they couldn't get near Aussie for a couple weeks and started feeding Aussie every day to gain his trust and rescued Aussie. And they said that all his teeth were gone. This dog had been abused. And so this dog must have known this little girl. But I told them, I said, you realize why Aussie didn't have a home. You realize that you found Aussie because he was abused because he was not housebroken. He was a puppy for a little girl, and they never taught Aussie how to be housebroken, and so they abused Aussie and threw Aussie out like, yesterday's garbage. And that Aussie showed me all that. And then the client told me we rescued Aussie out of a parking lot at a medical center. And they told me the whole story today. And I said, well, Aussie didn't go to Randy like you wanted, but he did go to this little girl.
That's so sweet. But how long did they have Aussie? How many years did they have Aussie
they had
from finding in the parking lot?
I don't know how many years, but I'm going to say several. I mean, about maybe 7, 8, 9, 10.
Oh, that's so nice that Aussie got a good home at the end, though, and now is in heaven with a little girl.
Well, it's interesting because
that's what I love. Vanessa, sorry to interrupt you, but that's what I love about all of this so much is that the medium part of it brings people comfort, and it does. And how much comfort did you just bring them today?
Well, it was really great because it's not me. I'm just a medium, but the dog told me tons. I mean, I've been doing readings for this couple for the dog for a long time, and he told me stuff. And so I would say to the clients, Ossie's saying this and that. And last night he was telling me that he loves his blue rug. And they said, well, it's not a rug, it's a comforter. So, it's, the animals.
Yeah, but the dog thought it was called a rug.
Yeah.
So cute.
And it was on the floor because they had put it on the floor because the woman wanted room in the bed, but so she put the blue comforter on the floor next to her. I mean, he called it a rug. So, yeah, he had.
Cute.
He kept telling me that he had breathed something in, but I didn't use the word poison. I didn't want to make the clients sad. But that was the beginning of his problem. It was a cancer in the mouth.
Oh.
So
I want to ask you something. I don't normally do this, but I had when we were young, we had a dog named Gretchen, Cocker Spaniel, and you know what happened was we went away on a cruise. The dog ran away. You know, I haven't been on cruises since anyway. But so we went ahead and we got another dog, and it was another blonde Cocker Spaniel, and the dog's name was Hazel. But what's really weird is that the dogs' birthdays were one day apart. Like one was February 1st, the other one was February the 2nd. And it always made me wonder, you know, Hazel eventually got old and passed away. But, like, are the two spirits of the dogs together, you know?
Okay, I get it, yes. One of them has already returned, and one is with a boy and has shown me a red ball. But I will tell you that Aussie, like Hazel, because it looks like it's Hazel that returned, they come back quickly because they're here to be a comfort to people, and that's what Hazel did. Hazel came back. Can I ask you a question, Jonathan?
Well,
were these dogs your mother's dogs?
Well, they were the family dogs, but see, the reason is that what's really weird is Gretchen and Hazel. I often wondered if Hazel was a reincarnation of Gretchen.
No, I get a no. Did they know each other in heaven? I get a yes. But can I tell you that one of the dogs keeps talking about biscuits, looks like maybe like a milk bone or something. But they keep talking about your mother. Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm.
Well,
now I will tell you this. My sister pretty much took care of the dogs. It was Cassie. I mean, Cassie took the motherly role, and actually it's funny. Like story about it. Another story about dogs. That old dog we had was Waldo, and I know you're gonna laugh because the dog's name was Waldo, but this dog was so smart that what it would do is Mom would take it to the pet store to get groomed or something. And then she would take it home, and then by the time she got home, she would get a phone call from the pet store. Apparently, Waldo had walked all the way over to the pet store because there was this cute poodle he liked. And I'm not making it up. And they actually did a newspaper story on Waldo. They called it Waldo the Wandering Dog. Because the dog had an incredible sense of direction.
And they do.
I love it.
They do. Dogs do. That's so cute.
Well, yeah, Hazel was the more, if you compare Hazel to Gretchen, Hazel was a very dominant personality. But I'm going to tell you that Gretchen felt abandoned, and it looks like there was a carekeeper or a housekeeper who really paid little attention to managing Gretchen, and Gretchen felt abandoned.
After Gretchen escaped, what happened to her?
Oh, it looks like a boy picked her up, a boy on a bike, and but that's what was there any ill fate? I get a no. Was there a comfort of home? I get a yes. I mean, she was not close. Let me find out. Was she more than a mile away? I got more than a mile away, and it looks like a lady tried to intervene with Gretchen to save her, rather recognized who she was. But, boy, Gretchen was a runner and took off. But it looks like a boy on a bike found her. He looks like he was about 13, 14. Nice kid. But it wasn't close to your house. And Hazel, her personality is just bigger than life. And so Hazel's job looks like was meant to help you all, comfort and, not think so much about Gretchen. So Hazel's got a very big personality, and her job was to...
Let me ask you this. Have either of them been reincarnated as my sister's dog, Sophia?
Oh. Let me test that. So give me a second. So Gretchen is reincarnated Sophia. I get a no. Okay. Hazel is reincarnated Sophia. I got a yes on Hazel. Hazel's so dominant. What? She's just got this giant personality. So does Sophia have a grand personality?
Are you saying that Hazel got reincarnated as Sophia?
Was that not your question?
Was that the question? Is that what you're saying? You're saying yes?
Yes. Does Sophia have a grand, big personality?
Yes, she does.
Yes, she does. And your sister, is your sister curious why she loves this dog so?
Well, I don't know. It's just I think what it is that Cassie has no kids, and because she has no kids, pets have sort of been what she does. Like we have a cat, she takes care of the cat, and
got a question for you.
So what you tell me is that Hazel is actually. What?
Did Hazel sleep with Cassie?
Towards the end, yeah. I mean, I think that she did.
Yeah.
And Hazel lived with Cassie, and then at the end, Cassie got a Chihuahua. So I'm going to tell her that Sophia is a reincarnation of Hazel.
Yeah. Think about how much you would miss someone that you love so much, and you have an opportunity to be with them again. I mean, listen. When it comes to soul, there's very little difference, as in soul growth and soul companionship. I've even told my husband, Rich, look for me in the next lifetime. It just fell out of my mouth. I said it years ago. I've never said that to anyone. Look for me in the next lifetime.
No.
And I make statement, yeah, I know, and I never, and I got to tell you, I've had so many dogs in this lifetime and horses, and now I've got 2 cats. I've got a cat that's sleeping here on top of my computer. She doesn't like me to do readings or shows without her. So, yeah, I know. And so they have soul. They have soul.
Yes, they do.
So,
and my cat, when I would exercise or stretch, always had to come over and rub up against me. Didn't want to let me do that without her. It's so cute.
Dogs and cats and horses and I grew up on a cattle farm. Cattle. I used to show hogs. That's how I grew up in 4-H. So they all have souls. Yeah, and it just broke my heart when everything had to leave me. I mean, you get so close to these little guys, right? So
you really do.
You really do. And so now you can tell Cassie that it is affirmative because Hazel was showing me that she would sleep with Cassie. That was a great comfort to Hazel. Yeah. Aww. And so, yeah, it is. I'm getting a yes on that. That Hazel is incarnate Sophie, and I'm really getting a big yes on that, and for me.
Okay.
So
Sophia is the reincarnation of Hazel. Okay, good.
Yes.
Okay, wow. Well, we went over a little bit, so we thank you so much. No. We thank you. We feel like this is generous of your time. So thank you, Vanessa, so much.
I just love you guys. Thank you so much, and I'll get right to work.
We love you. Okay, well, thank you. And good night, everybody. You know where to find Vanessa Orr, MBA, FullSoulReadings.com. And have a great night.
Thank you. Good night.
Okay. Did you do the shout-out, Barbara?
I did it, yes. Okay. Instagram, Facebook, Life After Happiness. Okay. Good night.